Welcome to A New View. We are so glad that you joined us. And this week we're going to be talking about FOMO. You know what that means? It's fear of missing out.
That's right. You know, I honestly did not know what FOMO meant until very recently. And I didn't know what it stood for. And I mean, obviously if it's a hashtag, everybody knows.
Everybody knows,
right.
yeah.
It's hashtag FOMO. Hilarious. So, but when we started talking about what it is, it becomes very clear that we all have some of these feelings. And when I looked up, not what FOMO is, but I'm not sure what word it is. Maybe I did look up FOMO, and this was the definition. It's a pervasive apprehension that others might be having rewarding experiences from which one is absent. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think of our kids and how this may be a little bit different, but it's kind of not. How they feel like they're going to be left out of something, right. Or miss something if they're not invited to an activity. And even
adults can feel that way.
This is a real thing. And I can tell you from my own experience having feelings of FOMO, and this is being just very honest, when after we had our Sophia, our first daughter, she was an unplanned pregnancy, and I was not super young. I was 26. It wasn't like I was, young and was missing out on opportunities to go out. But at that time in my life, I had been drinking quite a bit and going out a lot. Mm-hmm. And I seriously can remember thinking, well, after she was about 2 years old and we had a babysitter and a nanny, whatever, we kind of had our system for if we wanted to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking to myself, well, and this is so selfish. This is selfish FOMO right here. But and I remember thinking, well, why would we want to rock the boat and add another baby to this? Because what am I going to miss out on? These activities, these things that I'll miss out on having to leave another one behind, and that's terrible. That's terrible FOMO. Mm-hmm. But what I learned in that is that it reminds me of the scripture. I believe it's Romans 12:2, of how God transforms us. He transforms our minds and ultimately the desires of our heart. Mm-hmm. Right. And I don't think about that at all. I'm not missing out on anything because of having kids. In fact, I've probably gone on the opposite shift of I don't want to miss anything going on in their lives. But a bigger thing is we think about a fear of missing out on what God has for us. Right. And I can think of the age group of, let's say, you can't even really put it in an age group because we're grown women that still think about this. Mm-hmm. God, have I missed your purpose for my life? God, did I miss that divine opportunity by having to say no? If there are books written by Christian authors, good ones, Lisa Turker's book, The Best Yes, we are struggling to say no because we have FOMO and FOMO with the G, with fear of missing out on God. Right. But we will not miss out on God. Right. God comes after us. Mm-hmm. Wholeheartedly. If you are seeking Him and asking Him and trying to follow Him and being obedient and surrounding yourself by women who are obedient and doing the same thing, I believe that you don't miss out on God. You may miss some opportunities, but He doesn't forget about you. What do you guys think about that?
I agree. I think, I've had a hard time, saying no or thinking I had to justify my no, but no is a complete sentence. It really is. Yeah. And it's powerful, but sometimes we have to say no to good, godly things, that seem okay. So we have to say no to the good in order to say yes to God. And a lot of people don't. They just fill their calendars or fill things because of the FOMO, the fear of missing out, that they'll just do it. But I think about fear of missing out on God. When He tells you to do something and you think, that doesn't sound real great, or your fear's holding you back. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, or, just in my own personal thing, I know God told me to write a book, and I was like, I don't know. I don't really have a desire, and things. And then I had a vision of where I did, as a child, I loved to write and I wanted to be a journalist and all this kind of stuff. But then when I would have friends or people I know that had, written their books, or they had done, and there would be this little tinge of what's in my heart that's really aching me. Is it envy? Is it jealousy? What is this? Why is it? And I remember God saying, He's not a respecter of persons, And so I would say, I love to celebrate people's wins. Mm-hmm. But still, even when we're celebrating people's wins, there is that fear of missing out. Gosh, I should have been obedient. I should have done that. I missed out on God. But like you said, He doesn't give up on us. That beautiful song that's really going crazy right now, the Reckless Love. Oh my gosh. You know, it says, you know, he chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99
for the one.
To come after us. So we don't need to fear missing out because he is a relentless pursuing. His love is always coming out for us. But also, just obedience unlocks the blessings, you know. So when I was thinking, telling God, you know, like, oh my gosh, they've done this person's done that. I haven't been able to even write you know, the book yet. I have 3 of them started. I have this or that. And then boom, fast forward in 16 months, I look at that sometimes, in 16 months, with of course y'all's help, especially Kim's and her editing and expertise, we have 9 books done. And I'm thinking, okay, you are not a respecter of persons. Yeah. So maybe some people, when I say, hey, my book is done, they may think like, oh, she's bragging, she's this and that. But maybe they have FOMO, fear of missing out on God. So we want to encourage you to don't have FOMO. Don't have the FOMO, you know, missing out on God. Because he comes after you. He's not a respecter of persons, you know.
Yeah. If you missed it, it wasn't your time, and yours will come. So just spend your time getting ready for it.
Yeah,
that's what you had to do.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was the timing. It all had to be in God's timing.
So God's timing for probably the last 23 years wasn't fast enough for me. Or he wasn't clear enough in it, as he never sat down and said, Kim, here's my purpose for you. It's in writing in case you forget, you can look back at it.
That's funny.
So I spent probably like every day wondering, it's got to be bigger than this. Like, there's some way I'm supposed to be helping people and it's bigger. And I missed the fact that every single day I was doing something that was helping someone. And some days it was bigger than other days, but what I was missing was the blessing every single day because I was so focused on what am I missing.
Right.
That's sad, isn't it?
No, but it's good that God is such a gracious, relentless God that he was able to show you now, Kim, look at all those times, those little small acts of obedience. Keep unlocking the blessings. We don't see that. The miracles are in the mundane.
Yeah.
If we lose sight of the mundane because we're like, things are not moving as fast, you know, I'm missing out. These people are advancing. These people are doing this. I'm not doing anything. I'm being a mom. I'm, you know, knee deep in diapers, or I'm caring for an ailing parent, or, you know, or I just can't seem to get my act together, you know, whatever it is.
So the message today is cherish the mundane because that's where your miracles are. They're happening right now.
Absolutely. And no more FOMO. No more FOMO and no more FOMO. Because God chases after you. Right. He has not given up on you. You know what? It's never too late to begin again. Take care.